Today we take a journey through the incredible life of Burt Lancaster, a Hollywood legend whose talent, charisma, and determination left an indelible mark on cinema. From his humble beginnings in East Harlem to his rise as one of the biggest stars of the silver screen, Lancaster's story is one of grit, passion, and resilience. But beyond the fame, his life was also filled with personal struggles, groundbreaking activism, and a relentless pursuit of artistic excellence. Let's dive into the extraordinary world of Burt Lancaster and discover what made him not just a star, but a true icon. Burt Lancaster, whose full name was Burton Stephen Lancaster, was born on November 2, 1913, in East Harlem, New York City. He was the youngest of 5 children in a working-class family. His father, James Lancaster, was a postman, while his mother, Elizabeth Roberts Lancaster, was a homemaker. The family struggled financially, but their home was described as secure and loving, with a strong sense of unity. Burt's childhood neighborhood of East Harlem was a melting pot of cultures and experiences that likely shaped his worldview. Despite their modest means, the Lancasters valued education and the arts. Burt was particularly inspired by trips to the local movie theaters, where he admired the swashbuckling performances of stars like Douglas Fairbanks. These visits sparked his imagination and instilled a lifelong love for storytelling and performance. Initially, Burt aspired to become an opera singer, a dream fueled by his love for music, especially opera and symphonic compositions. However, the realities of life made pursuing this ambition impractical. Burt was also a naturally athletic child, excelling in physical activities. His agility and strength earned him a basketball scholarship to New York University after he graduated from DeWitt Clinton High School in the Bronx. Burt's time at NYU was short-lived. Although he had the talent to succeed in sports, he found himself uninspired by the academic environment. His focus shifted to acrobatics, an area where his natural athleticism shone. He began training at East Harlem's Union Settlement, a community center offering support and opportunities to local youth. There, he honed his skills in gymnastics and acrobatics, which would later play a significant role in his career. With his childhood friend Nick Cravat, Burt formed the acrobatic duo Lang and Cravat. The pair performed high-energy comedic routines on horizontal bars, traveling with circuses, and performing in nightclubs. Their act showcased not only Burt's physical prowess, but also his charisma and ability to entertain an audience, foreshadowing his later success in Hollywood. The duo's partnership lasted until 1939, when Burt suffered a hand injury that ended his acrobatic career. Burt Lancaster was born into a humble yet close-knit family in East Harlem, New York City. James Lancaster and Elizabeth Roberts Lancaster played pivotal roles in shaping Burt Lancaster's character and future success. James, a postal worker, exemplified diligence and responsibility, working tirelessly to provide for his family despite their modest financial situation. His steady presence and work ethic offered a strong role model for young Burt, who would later embody similar determination in his career and personal life. Elizabeth, on the other hand, was the emotional anchor of the family. Known for her warmth and nurturing nature, she created a loving environment where her children felt safe and encouraged. She was deeply devoted to her family, instilling in her children the importance of kindness, resilience, and mutual support. Elizabeth's influence extended beyond emotional care. She fostered a love for music and storytelling in her household, which left a lasting impression on Burt. Her cultural enthusiasm, particularly her appreciation for opera and classical music, sparked Burt's early dream of becoming an opera singer. Together, James and Elizabeth emphasized the value of hard work, creativity, and family unity, laying a strong foundation for their children. Their balanced approach to discipline and encouragement allowed Burt to dream big while staying grounded in the realities of life. This upbringing gave him the tools to persevere through challenges and ultimately achieve greatness in Hollywood, carrying with him the lessons of his parents' unwavering dedication and love. Growing up in a working-class neighborhood, the Lancasters faced their share of financial struggles, but they prioritized creating a supportive and stable home life. James and Elizabeth encouraged their children to embrace education, hard work, and creativity. Burt's siblings were said to be equally spirited, often engaging in playful antics and competitive games that reflected their lively household dynamic. These early familial experiences instilled in Burt a sense of determination and the ability to adapt to challenges, traits that would later define his career and personal life. The Lancasters also fostered a love for the arts, particularly music, which deeply influenced Burt. His childhood memories of his mother singing or his father sharing stories further fueled his imagination and passion for performance. This foundation of familial love and encouragement remained a cornerstone of his character throughout his life. The strong foundation of love, resilience, and creativity built by his parents not only shaped Burt's character, but also prepared him for the challenges and triumphs of a career that would later redefine Hollywood. Armed with the values instilled in him during his upbringing, Burt Lancaster embarked on a remarkable journey into the world of film, where his talent, determination, and charisma quickly set him apart. Burt Lancaster's career, which spanned over 4 decades, is a testament to his talent, ambition, and versatility as an actor and filmmaker. It began with his breakout role in The Killers, 1946, a film noir classic that immediately established him as a leading man. His portrayal of the ex-boxer Swede Anderson showcased his intense physical presence and brooding charisma, qualities that became his signature. This early success propelled him into stardom, with Lancaster quickly becoming one of Hollywood's most sought-after actors. Initially, Lancaster was typecast as the rugged tough guy in action-packed roles. Films like Desert Fury, 1947, Rope of Sand, 1949, and The Flame and the Arrow, 1950, capitalized on his athleticism and smoldering screen presence. However, Lancaster was not content to remain confined to such roles. He actively sought opportunities to challenge himself, taking on more nuanced and emotionally complex characters. This shift was evident in films like Comeback, Little Sheba, 1952, where he played an alcoholic husband, and From Here to Eternity, 1953, which earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Lancaster's determination to expand his horizons extended beyond acting. In the late 1940s, he co-founded Norma Productions, later renamed Hecht Hill Lancaster, with his agent Harold Hecht and writer-producer James Hill. The company was instrumental in creating critically acclaimed films that often tackled socially relevant themes. Notable among these was Marty, 1955, a modestly budgeted drama that won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. His company also produced hits like Run Silent, Run Deep, 1958, and Sweet Smell of Success, 1957, the latter featuring one of Lancaster's most celebrated performances as a ruthless, cynical journalist. In 1960, Lancaster reached the pinnacle of his acting career with his Academy Award-winning performance in Elmer Gantry. His portrayal of a charismatic yet morally corrupt preacher was a tour de force, showcasing his ability to blend charm, menace, and vulnerability. This role solidified his reputation as one of Hollywood's finest actors. He followed this with another Oscar-nominated performance in Birdman of Alcatraz, 1962, where he portrayed Robert Stroud, a convicted murderer who became an ornithologist while in prison. Despite these highs, Lancaster's career faced challenges in the 1960s and 1970s. His choice to take on more experimental and artistically ambitious projects, such as The Leopard, 1963, directed by Luchino Visconti, earned critical praise but struggled at the box office. The decline of the studio system and shifting audience preferences further affected his star power. Nonetheless, Lancaster continued to work steadily, delivering memorable performances in films like 7 Days in May, 1964, and The Swimmer, 1968. Lancaster's resurgence came in 1980 with Atlantic City, a drama that earned him his 4th Academy Award nomination and a New York Film Critics Circle Award. His portrayal of an aging small-time gangster showcased a poignant mix of nostalgia and resilience, reaffirming his status as a masterful actor. As his film career slowed, Lancaster transitioned to television, appearing in acclaimed miniseries such as Moses the Lawgiver, 1974, and On Wings of Eagles, 1986. In addition to his on-screen achievements, Lancaster was a vocal advocate for civil rights and social justice. He participated in Martin Luther King Jr.'s March on Washington in 1963 and supported progressive causes throughout his life. His legacy as an actor, producer, and activist remains enduring, marking him as one of the true legends of Hollywood's golden age. Burt Lancaster was not only a towering figure in Hollywood, but also a passionate advocate for civil rights and social justice, using his fame and resources to champion progressive causes. His commitment to these issues went far beyond symbolic gestures, reflecting his deeply held belief in equality and human dignity. One of Lancaster's most notable contributions to the civil rights movement was his participation in Martin Luther King Jr.'s historic March on Washington in 1963. Alongside other celebrities and activists, he stood in solidarity with the thousands gathered to demand racial equality and justice. Lancaster's presence at such a pivotal moment demonstrated his willingness to align himself with movements for social change, even when doing so risked alienating parts of his audience or the Hollywood establishment. Beyond public demonstrations, Lancaster was a vocal critic of McCarthyism and the anti-communist witch hunts that swept through Hollywood during the 1950s. He openly opposed the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC, which blacklisted many artists and writers in the film industry. Lancaster's stance required immense courage, as it put his career and reputation on the line during a period of intense political paranoia. Despite the risks, he consistently supported freedom of expression and condemned efforts to silence dissenting voices. Lancaster was also a lifelong supporter of the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, providing financial backing and lending his voice to their campaigns. His dedication to civil liberties extended to his advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights at a time when such support was far from mainstream. In the 1980s, he joined the fight against AIDS, motivated in part by the illness of his close friend and fellow actor, Rock Hudson. Lancaster used his platform to raise awareness about the disease and combat the stigma surrounding it. In his personal life, Lancaster's commitment to social justice was evident in the projects he chose to support through his production company. Many of the films produced under his banner tackled themes of inequality, corruption, and the human condition, reflecting his desire to use cinema as a vehicle for meaningful dialogue. For example, his support for adaptations of works by Arthur Miller and Tennessee Williams underscored his interest in exploring societal issues on screen. Burt Lancaster's life and career were not without controversy, as his fiery personality and private life often made headlines, casting a shadow over his professional achievements. His intense demeanor, while a driving force behind his success, also led to conflicts and misunderstandings on set. Lancaster had a reputation for being demanding and perfectionistic, traits that often clashed with directors, co-stars, and crew members. He was known for voicing his opinions openly and forcefully, which occasionally created a tense working environment. However, many who worked with him also acknowledged that his high standards stemmed from a deep commitment to his craft. One of the most persistent scandals surrounding Lancaster was his reputation as a womanizer. In his early years in Hollywood, he was rumored to have had numerous affairs with leading ladies and other women in the industry. Notable names such as Deborah Kerr and Shelley Winters were linked to him romantically, adding to his image as a charismatic but complicated figure. These rumors were amplified by his 3 marriages, the first of which ended in divorce after just a few years, and the second, to Norma Anderson, dissolved after over 2 decades, allegedly due to his infidelity. Despite his eventual marriage to Susan Martin, gossip about his romantic escapades continued to follow him. In addition to his personal relationships, Lancaster occasionally courted controversy with his outspoken political views. His vocal opposition to McCarthyism and the anti-communist witch hunts of the 1950s placed him at odds with more conservative figures in Hollywood. While this stance earned him respect among liberals and progressives, it also subjected him to criticism and scrutiny during a time when dissenting political views could jeopardize careers. His participation in the civil rights movement and support for LGBTQ+ rights further polarized public opinion, with some questioning his motives or labeling him as overly radical. Later in his career, Lancaster's willingness to take on bold, unconventional roles occasionally backfired. Films such as The Swimmer, 1968, while now appreciated as cult classics, were initially poorly received and added to perceptions that Lancaster was losing his touch as a box office draw. His artistic risks were sometimes interpreted as missteps, fueling media speculation about whether he was past his prime. Despite these controversies, Lancaster remained a complex and multifaceted figure whose talents and convictions ultimately outweighed the scandals that surrounded him. His fiery personality, while polarizing, was also a reflection of his passion and drive, qualities that defined both his career and his enduring legacy in Hollywood. Burt Lancaster's marital life was as eventful as his career, reflecting a man who was both deeply passionate and at times restless in his relationships. Over the course of his life, Lancaster married 3 times, each union highlighting different phases of his personal and professional journey. Lancaster's first marriage was to June Ernst, an acrobat he met during his early days as a performer. The couple married in 1935, when Lancaster was just 21 years old and still navigating life as an acrobat with his performance partner, Nick Cravat. Their shared background in the physically demanding world of acrobatics may have initially bonded them, but their marriage proved short-lived. The couple separated in 1937 and divorced in 1940. While details about their relationship remain sparse, it is widely believed that their youth and the pressures of their itinerant lifestyle contributed to the breakdown of their marriage. Lancaster's second marriage to Norma Anderson was the longest and most significant of his life. The couple wed in 1946, just as Lancaster's Hollywood career was taking off following his breakthrough role in The Killers. Together, they had 5 children: Bill, Susan, Joanna, Ciel, and Jimmy. Their marriage spanned over 2 decades and coincided with Lancaster's rise to stardom, making Norma a key figure during his most prolific years. However, their marriage was far from idyllic. Lancaster's demanding career often kept him away from home, and rumors of his infidelity added strain to their relationship. Despite their differences, the couple shared a deep bond and worked to maintain a family life amid the pressures of Hollywood. Ultimately, the challenges proved insurmountable, and they divorced in 1969. Their separation marked the end of a significant chapter in Lancaster's personal life, but he remained a devoted father to his children. Lancaster's third and final marriage was to Susan Martin, a woman 22 years his junior. They married in September 1990, at a time when Lancaster's health was beginning to decline following a stroke earlier that year. Despite their brief time together, Susan was a supportive presence during his final years, providing care and companionship as he navigated the challenges of his health. Their marriage lasted until Lancaster's death in 1994. Burt Lancaster's life was marked not only by his marriages, but also by a series of significant relationships outside of them, both personal and professional. These connections, often complex and multifaceted, shaped his legacy as a Hollywood icon and a man of passionate convictions. Throughout his career, Lancaster's charisma and good looks drew him into several high-profile romantic entanglements. His rumored affair with Deborah Kerr is perhaps the most infamous, fueled by their sizzling on-screen chemistry in From Here to Eternity, 1953. Their portrayal of a passionate, illicit romance led to speculation about an off-screen relationship, although neither confirmed the rumors. Similarly, Lancaster was linked to Shelley Winters, another leading lady with whom he reportedly shared a tempestuous connection. Beyond these well-known names, Lancaster was said to have had relationships with other actresses and women in Hollywood, adding to his reputation as a womanizer in his younger years. While these rumors often made headlines, they never overshadowed his professional achievements, and many of his contemporaries acknowledged his charm and magnetism. Lancaster's professional relationships were just as impactful as his personal ones, with his collaboration with Harold Hecht standing out as one of the most significant. Together, they co-founded Norma Productions, later renamed Hecht Hill Lancaster, which became a powerhouse in the independent film industry. Their partnership not only produced critically acclaimed films, like Marty, 1955, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture, but also challenged the dominance of the major Hollywood studios. Lancaster's ability to navigate these professional relationships with vision and tenacity was instrumental in reshaping Hollywood's landscape. He worked closely with directors, writers, and fellow actors to create films that were both artistically ambitious and commercially successful. One of Lancaster's most enduring professional relationships was with Kirk Douglas, with whom he co-starred in 7 films, including Gunfight at the OK Corral, 1957, and 7 Days in May, 1964. Although they maintained a healthy professional rivalry, they were not close friends off-screen. Their interactions were marked by mutual respect and a competitive edge, which only added depth to their on-screen collaborations. Douglas once remarked that Lancaster could be difficult to work with, but always delivered a commanding performance, a testament to their shared professionalism. Lancaster also formed relationships through his activism. His support for civil rights and LGBTQ+ rights brought him into contact with other progressive figures, including Martin Luther King Jr., during the 1963 March on Washington. His advocacy against McCarthyism and his involvement in the fight against AIDS in the 1980s connected him with various social and political leaders, reflecting his broader commitment to justice and equality. Burt Lancaster's final years were marked by a gradual decline in health, reflecting a life lived with intensity and dedication to his craft and ideals. His robust physicality, which had defined much of his career, began to fail in the 1980s. In 1983, Lancaster underwent a quadruple heart bypass surgery, a procedure that marked the beginning of a series of serious health issues. Although he attempted to maintain an active lifestyle, the surgery significantly impacted his vitality. By the late 1980s, his health had worsened, and in 1990 he suffered a debilitating stroke. The stroke left him partially paralyzed, wheelchair-bound, and with severely restricted speech. Despite his condition, Lancaster remained mentally sharp and continued to stay informed about the world around him, often engaging with close friends and family. The stroke effectively ended Lancaster's acting career, forcing him into retirement. His final years were spent in relative seclusion, cared for by his third wife, Susan Martin, and a close circle of family and friends. While he was unable to return to the screen, Lancaster's enduring legacy as a Hollywood legend and social activist continued to inspire many. He reportedly maintained a keen interest in current events and was visited by colleagues who admired his indomitable spirit. On October 20th, 1994, Lancaster passed away from a heart attack at the age of 80. He died peacefully in his Los Angeles apartment, surrounded by the love and respect of those closest to him. His death marked the end of an era, as he was one of the last great stars of Hollywood's golden age. Lancaster was laid to rest at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery in Los Angeles, where his grave remains a place of homage for fans and admirers. His death was widely mourned across the entertainment industry, with tributes highlighting his immense contributions to film and his courageous stance on social and political issues. Newspapers and colleagues celebrated his career, recalling his iconic performances in From Here to Eternity, Elmer Gantry, and Birdman of Alcatraz. Even in death, Lancaster's legacy endured. His films remain beloved classics, his activism is remembered as pioneering, and his impact on independent filmmaking continues to shape the industry. Burt Lancaster's life was one of passion, resilience, and commitment to excellence, leaving an indelible mark on Hollywood and beyond. Burt Lancaster's life was a testament to the power of talent, perseverance, and the courage to stand up for what you believe in. Whether captivating audiences on screen, breaking barriers in the industry, or championing social justice, Lancaster's legacy continues to inspire. His journey reminds us that greatness isn't just about achievements. It's about the impact you leave behind. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the life of a Hollywood legend. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of entertainment.